tzitzis. And we're over here on Beir Inyan Arba Tzitzias Milokechosam. Beprato Shemus HaMochin Shebechem. The names of the mochin of the tzitzis. So he said, so reading the words of the Rav writes, V'hine Achad Seisam Meluchut, after they leave. So we're talking about the Yesod of Ima, and passing through the Yesod of Ima, that the Das is their anpin. Even though that all of them, they had to go through this place where there was this Ekya Deheyan, which is a 150. Let's see how that worked. Or no, it's a 156. I'm sorry. But the fact that even though they all went through the same place, but individually they had apparently their own, well, use the word reality. So it's like this. So you talk about the four mochin. The mochin, the Abba. Let's talk about the mochin, the Abba. Yesh bechem arba chav, which is asmab, and absag mahu ben. Ukenegdam be'ima, also that you have the same thing. You have arba ekya b'meluam. Shnei rishonim are b'yudin. That's kasa. B'chashlishi b'lofim, that's kamag, and the B is the hayin, which is kaneh. Being kain. So if that's the case, elu ha'arba mochim hayotzim, they come out now through this yesod. Haim arba b'chinas elu shel ekya, they represent really four different aspects of ekya. So two of the tzitzis, let's go to the tzitzis now themselves, just looking at them. Haim klape panim, this their anpen, he says there are two tzitzis, sets of tzitzis, I guess two to the corners, or in the front. So now they're on the back of Zeranpet. So now they came through the Yesod, and now on the other side of the Yesod, there's two in the front and two in the back. Two of the 150s. So the two that are sort of the back, they're actually going for the Nuk of Zeranpin. And those in the front, Yaakov. So we're putting Yaakov and Rachel for the cause of the Mata in front of Zeranpin, and now this is the Shepherd that's coming to them. So he said, the Indian is like this, Ki Arba Ekya Elo, these four Ekya, Gematria Yisro. I like the way that he spells it here. So he says it comes out to the Gematria of 516, or 616. Being tossed become the Yudbal Osios of Peshutos, so that's a gematria including four sets of Peshutos. If you take the Peshutos out, if you shar tar comedian tzitzis, you're going to have left over, so you have now 600, where if you could separate the 16 from it, using those ekyas like that, you're going to come down to the minion tzitzis. ARI kamapamem ramzu inyan tzitzis. So there's lots of different ways that we can understand tzitzis. Of course, at tzitzis here, he's talking about the numbers that have to do with tzitzis and looking at its reality based on numbers. So he says number shin test, which is at the bottom of, let me see, here it is, bottom of the first column on page Reish Mem Hey. It says, V'acher shehamochim v'ha'oruz yatzim yisod de'ima. So now the mochin and the lights came out of the yisod of ima. K'dei lehis pashit begufa dezah. So they split out from there. Shehem arba kanfos asher ba'avram b'yisod de'ima. So these are actually the four kanfos of the city, of the tzitzis. But also understanding the word kanaf itself was 150, and four of them make 600. So you're back to tzitzis again over there. Let me read it again. Shehem arba kanfos asher ba'avram b'yisod de'ima, as they pass through the yisod of ima, loku kulam ma'aras, they all pick up the radiance, the glow, the dust of glow, or the glow of dust, or glowing dust. Kulam ma'ara ma'arba shemu shal ekya b'milu heyin. So now they have four times ekyas, which are miluhim, which are 151s. Now let's see what he's saying. So let's just take the count of the mochin. So let's start over here. So you had a chiluf, and as a result of that, the right side of Ima is going to be the miluyim of the different Yaakov. So now you have these two, and this is a little lesson that he taught us the last time. That together they come into the gematria of 756. Okay, let's see if we can get him back again. Okay, you're back, I hope. So, okay, good. Aviyached Heim Olam Shano, so they come to Gematria 756. Call Zechabahuka Hashem Efaratim, as call Arba Hamochim. This is, as we all explained, the separate all of these Arba Mochim. But when you look at them as just four of them, which are what? Heim Chug B'Chug Bilvad, which is Chochma Bina, and then the Chasana Gevur Sadas. Shazocha Mitziyusim Shalamochim Afman Believe Pirut. So this, without getting into the details of them and what composes them, they just take the names themselves, that they're four Mochim. Az Acheshbon Shalamochim Ku Acheris. Then you're going to be something else. So if you're going to count up the gematrias of what's inside of the Mochim, that's what he means by Prat, the Pratim. He says you're going to come to a certain number. But if you just take the gematrias of the Mochim themselves, without getting into their interiors, she is partum. So now, without looking into the mochin and seeing all their parts, let's just look at the mochin themselves. So how do we do that? He says, as klalos arba mochin shalchu the mochin the abba habalubasha benai the abba. So now let's look. The nai the abba has within it the chub and the chug. So now we're going over here and we're going to read. Let me get this. There we go. So he says, the Timsa, ki ba'arba ramon shel klalos chub b'chub the abba yesh sham arba milui havayos. You're going to find that there you're going to have the asma. Now let me read this again. The arba mochin themselves, which are chub and chub, you're going to find there in abba, they're going to be asma. Boven shamuach hachachma the abba hu havai b'milu yudin v'hu gematria av, muach habina the abba hu havai b'milu yudin v'elva aleph hu gematria sag, muach hachasad the das the abba hu havai b'milu elafa v'hu b'gematria mach, muach hagavur the abba hu havai b'milu ein hu b'gematria ben. So he says these are the mochin of abba. That's what they look like. That's what the composition of the mochin themselves. But now if you look at them, now we'll go to Ima. You look at them all as a kolel, group them together. Which are in the nai of Ima. Oz timsa shebechinos shekeneged the arbach of Babayas, and now so that those aspects that line up on the female side, that I guess is in our drawing, it's like outside of is there anpin or it's below it, but at any rate of the mocha of Abba. I'm sorry. So here we said Haim arbach b'minim miluim shem shel akis. So what you have here, rather when you're looking at Ima, which is the outside part that comes into Zeranpin. You have the Shnei Mochen of Rishonim Shehem Moach HaChachma B'Rabin the Ima Shneihem Chem Shema Shel Eke B'Milu Yudin V'Moach HaShlishi Shu HaSad D'Das Hu Shem Eke B'Milu Elafim V'Moach HaVish Hu Gevur D'Das Hu Shem Eke B'Milu Heim. So V'Im HaMochim D'Ima B'Heim Arba Milu Eke. So with this, if we take these, they're the four different sets. It's Kasa, kamag, kaneh. So v'chodachen kasher yotzin amochim b'sod tzitzis v'yotzim arbach b'meluyim shal akias. And now we see that all of these meluyim, they're coming through being sewed into the gufa de zah. V'lazah b'yesh arba mochim. So zah has 4 mochim. U'behem na'aza arba kanfot tzitzis. And from those mochim, now that they're inside of zah, they're going to make the four tzitzis, the 4 corners, the 4 kanafs, which are 150s of the tzitzis. And what are they, in fact? They're the 4 different miluyim v'eka b'shnei b'tzitzis shel b'shnei miluyim eki the yudin em nimshakim klapit sad panim shel zeranpin. So the top miluyim, that is the 161s, is going to be 2 of them, are both going to be on the front of zeranpin. B'shnei tzitzis hem shnei miluyim eki the lof of the hay, and this would be the lower level. Hem nimshakim Litzad ha'ach shel zeranpin, they go to the back of zeranpin. Then he said, B'shnei chatzitzio shel sad achra of the zeranpin, so the 2 that are in the side, which is the back side of zeranpin, B'shnei ekye, lost them again. Okay, back again. B'shnei chatzitzio shel sad achra of the zeranpin, Shehem Ashnei Akir Shal Milui Alofim Vehein Azam Mamshichon. So the Hayan Amshal Bekadei Litnan the Nook, he brooms them down in order to give them to the Nook who is on his backside. So he has 2 in the front. Let's go over that. There's their Ampin Shehem Ashnei Akir B'Milu Yudin. Lit them the Yaakov, so Zah pulls them down in order to get them to the parts of which is in front of him, which is the parts of Yaakov for the Chazal Lamata. B'fnei Hazah Mechachazal Lamata. V'ata Rabbi Harav Heir Hazach Machalek as the Arba Milui Ekya the Yaakov of the Rachel Shehichanok. Now we're going to talk about this. And he says, so let's say we said Kasa, kamag, so the 4 of them added up together, 161, which comes to be 143. So he says, let me say, Echad Balafim Shuhu Ola Kamag. So he say, Hem Shnayim, okay, Be'echad Be'hein Shuhu Ola Kaneh. So he just went through the gematrias of the 4 mochim that are now coming through the Yisod. Hem Yachta Begematria, what I used to pronounce it, Tario. So that comes down to Tario, which is the same as Yisro, which you said before. So now take 16 letters away from that. So now you're dealing just with the miluyim. You take off the 16, which refer to the peshutas themselves, the 4 times 4 letters of the pashut. Okay, but shehem arba shemus akia, since there are 4 names there. As arba pamim arba osias akia peshutos olach b'sheish esrei osias, it comes out to be 16 letters. So now you have this number, Yishar Tar convenient tzitzis. So if you took that away, you take, in other words, you're just dealing with the milui, which is the milui itself is a ha'ara. So he says you're dealing with this ha'ara from them because you're taking away the root, or the what's the right word, the shorish, which is the pasha. Because shatasav sheish ezre osid matario, so you take it away from that, but nishatar. Shuchabola b'gematria tzitzis, which is now the gematria tzitzis, and we see here is another way. And we're coming to that same idea. Ba'al Khan, so until this point he says, Bira Rav Kamarupane ve'inyan the mochan niknasa b'zav, the inyan about the mochan that come into Zeranpin. Heich Ramos bechem so the tzitzis, heich yotzin bechem the tzitzius, and how the tzitzis come out. So we see that this is the fact. The tzitzis is another way of looking at it that you're going to get to 600. And after that, we're going to see what we do with this other 16 that we were talking about here. So that's going to be Ad Khan on this one here. Ad Khan.
In the Rehoboth Sonar, I see some of the things we're learning in practice. So it's really cool.
What'd you say now? Say this again.
Yeah, I was looking at the Rehoboth Sonar Center, and I see some of these kavanas there that we're learning.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Now,
in page Ayin Ches, Ayin Tes, I'm starting to use them a little bit. It shows the ones that was on Beis Hamikdash, Manazeh, the Shnos, the fourth thing, and then what we did today also. It adds to it, but it's there. If you want to look at that later.
Let me see what you say. Ayin Ches and Ayin Tes.
Ayin Ches and Ayin Tes.
Yeah, that's where the brachas on the tzitzit are located.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just looking at it real quickly because I had. It's a little hard for me to see it. Yachzer called Dalet Tzitzios La'acharov. That's where I see on Ayin Vav. Okay, Ayin Tes. There's a little arichas there. Akadama Ketzar. Oh, that's different. I have a different edition than you do.
I have to have the little one.
Well, he did change. I had the old one,
okay.
but he did change it. I think we're two pages off to where we're at. It used to be I was learning with ARI. Kavanas Talis Gadol, which was on me, would be Ayin Bet. Is that where you start?
Right, 2 pages. Now, 2 pages after that, did you see about these mochen that we learned about?
2 pages after that, he had V'yashvei Beit Tzitzios Yavin. Okay. Okay, I'd have to spend some time try to locate it in my book. That's a nice idea. I don't really spend a lot of time with that. I'm really in between shuls. A difficult situation for me here. They tore down the old shul. Now they learn in the classroom, but they could have 150 people in the classroom, so nobody comes because it's ridiculous. So I go over to BRS now so I'm kind of like on one foot. All right, let's get we stop that, and let me see.